Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the Tropical Update for June 27th, 2020. And today we are going to be looking at, once again, the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific Basin to see if there's anything coming up in the next couple of days, maybe even going into a week even. We might look a little bit past day 5 on the GFS and the European. But as it comes to the Atlantic, nothing is brewing within the next 48 hours, so nothing to worry about here. Though I still believe something might form in here that the NHC is not picking up on yet. But we'll wait and see. I say it's got about another 36 to 42 hours if this little small system is going to do anything. But as I said, we'll wait and see. What about the 5-day graphic here? Nothing in the next 5 days. And the reason for that is the Sierra air layer, or the sail for short, is pretty robust around here, which is gonna stop any convection from firing up because all the dust particles in the upper, mid and upper levels. So nothing to worry about there. Here's a look at the GFS for the 12Z hour, and right here we got our highs. We got a high here, the Bermuda Azores high here, another high right off of Florida. So we got some pretty good highs going here. We're gonna go out through time here, and there's our little feature right there. This is 18 hours out. It has 1,008 millibars at this point in time, but you know, as you guys know, this can change going forward, and you know, it might make a run for a tropical depression status, but you know, as we're gonna see, this is gonna start moving west northwest and into all of this dust that's settling here in the Atlantic. It's 1009, 1010, 1008, and as you can see, we still have a wave here because of the bending of the isotherms here. So there's still something there, but it's in the dust now at that point. So nothing really is gonna happen here. And right here, this is a pretty interesting feature in the subtropics. 1,008 millibars. This might make a run for a depression too, at least at the 66-hour mark. So it's gonna, as you can see, it's surrounded by two highs, so you know, this thing has no choice but to go east northeast to northeast and around the periphery of this high pressure here as we go in time. See, and then it just kind of does its own little thing and goes around the high, and we got nothing to worry about in the 7-day time period. Oh, wait, we might have something right here too, 1,002 millibars, but I think that's more frontal. So maybe a subtropical system, and then 1,007 millibars, something else trying to form out here in the MDR region. This is 7 days out. Usually I don't go more than 5, but today I'm going to be looking at the keys to the game here. So, you know, we got our highs, we got our lows all set up here. We're just going to have to wait and see which one of these lows blows up and how much Sierra in there that's going to be in the main development region or in the Caribbean or southwestern Caribbean. Alright, here is the European model, and this goes out to 10 days, so there's day 1 and there's our little low we're trying to get together right here. You can tell what this is due to the bends in the isotherms here. We got some nifty high pressure building up here, which is pretty strong. So this is gonna, if this does, you know, form into anything, this is gonna keep it south of the main islands here, like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, you know, Cuba. It might keep this well south of them. if this, you know, goes into, you know, form anything, which I don't think it will, because of, once again, this air and air layer. All right, there's 2 days, and as you can see, it just kind of dissipates, and then this high really like builds in here. As you can see, that high is like really strong. So whatever storms, if this stays consistent throughout the whole season, like I said, whatever storms that do form are going to be kept south, maybe like this or like this. I'm not saying that the East Coast isn't going to be in play this year, because they probably are. I just think that most of the systems are going to remain to the south here in most cases. We're not going to be seeing very many out to sea storms if this high pressure stays dominant like this for a long period of time. Alright, here is the wind shear values here. As you can see, the wind shear here is starting to die down a little bit in a lot of areas here. And here's our little feature right here. You know, it's down there in the yellows and greens. So, you know, if this was to develop, it's in some kind of favorable conditions, because not only is it in low wind shear, but the Sierra and air layer is it's a little bit more north than this system. So, you know, we're just gonna have to see within the next, like, you know, as I said, next 36 to 48 hours to see if this forms. But as a like I said, this won't last long, as this will track up into the Sierra and air layer in due time. But as you can see here, the wind shears are starting to become less and less in a lot of these areas here. I do believe once the Kelvin waves come through here, this wind shear will lessen a lot, and we might be good to go here in about a week or two, if not sooner than that. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now here's another wind shear map here, and here, just to prove my point that the wind shear is almost non-existent in some areas in the Atlantic. Obviously there's some wind shear right here on the moderate side, but this will probably die down too here in short order. Once the Kelvin waves track through here. Now, you're probably asking what a Kelvin wave is. A Kelvin wave is pretty much a area of unstable conditions that pretty much is a fertilizer for the oceans to create tropical cyclones to develop. And we got 2 of them here that are coming in here in the next like week or so, starting like in a day or two, maybe even. They usually progress east. It's from west to east, and apparently one of these Kelvin waves are supposed to stand still over Africa and be pretty powerful and potent Kelvin wave that is gonna fuel some of these storms off the African coast. So, you know, July we're gonna start really having to pay attention to what's going on in the MDR, along with here closer to home, because, you know, July is still the homegrown season. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens here. Here is our ocean heat content, or upper ocean heat content for some people, and as you can see, there is plenty of heat content going around the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and some parts of the Gulf of Mexico. I'm actually surprised that the Gulf of Mexico doesn't have more upper ocean heat content than it does right here, but that will soon change as we go out through time, you know, and the weather gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So, well, pretty much what the upper ocean heat content is the warmer waters with depth. The deeper you go you know, how deep the warm waters go in that specific area. So as you can see here in the Caribbean, we got plethora of open ocean heat content here. We're talking about 125 to close to 150 kilojoules here of upper ocean heat content, and that's not just, that's not excluding what's over here too, that's starting to pop up here in the very southwestern part of the main development region here, where the upper ocean heat content is starting to build pretty well out here. But as you can see throughout the whole main development region, there is enough upper ocean heat content to develop storms here and keep them going. And this is where our little system is in here, right in the middle of this upper ocean heat content. So, we are ready for storms to develop with these upper ocean heat contents. We just gotta wait and see, what happens with the Sierran air layer going forward, which I do think, like, by July we should be able to get most of that Sierran air layer out of here. So that's what I'm expecting here within the next, week or so, is maybe a little something right here and a little something right over here. So we'll just have to wait and see. And this is another way of showing, rising motion and sinking motion here. And as you can see, that we're in June 7th right now, and we got plenty of rising motion here in the Atlantic. Well, most of the sinking air is over here in the West Pacific. And July 2nd, July 7th, July 12th, all the way through July 12th, we have upper rising motion that supports thunderstorm activity for, tropics to waken up here. But we're just gonna have to wait for that Sierran air layer to move on out of here for that to really kick in. Because if you have the sail and dust is in the air, it's gonna choke off whatever is trying to form out there. So, and as you can see, by July 22nd, July 27th through August 1st, I believe. Yeah, August 1st, we're gonna have sinking motion, which is practically the dismissal of thunderstorms in that given area. And then we're gonna start all over on August 9th when those sinking motion levels leave the area. So, it's gonna be a pretty interesting time for the next 2 weeks, at least, as we wait and see what happens with some of these systems that could form out in July. And speaking of warm water temperatures, this is a key factor too. And as you can see, most of these water temperatures are right at the level that needs to be for tropical development. We got some 90s, we got upper 80s, mid 80s, just scattered all throughout the Atlantic Basin here. These are really, really warm water temperatures right now for this time of year. And going forward, these are only going to warm up more, which is a scary thing. We could see widespread 90 water temperatures in, say, like August or September even. Maybe even October, it just depends. We do got some 90 degrees here already off the coast of Florida, and over here by Jamaica and Cuba too. So, as I said, this is only going to spread out farther as time goes on. Alright, now that we got the Atlantic Basin out of the way, we're going to take a look at the Eastern Pacific Basin here. And as you can see, we're still talking about tropical storm, or not tropical storm, but tropical depression Boris here. If I can get it here to... Alright, this is as of 5 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. It's still keeping on here. It still has 35 miles per hour. The central pressure is 1,006 millibars. located at 12.3 north, 140.7 west, and it's moving west at 6 knots or 7 miles an hour. So, you know, there's no need to look at a forecast cone for this or look at any of the discussions here, because this is pretty much, you know, gonna be dead here in the next like 48 to 60 something hours from now. However, we still have these systems right here that seem to be decreasing in odds as we go along. Now, this is disturbance number 1. A broad area of low pressure located several hundred miles south of the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The environmental conditions are not conducive for development of the system while it moves west-northwest at about 10 miles per hour during the next couple of days. So it's 10% for the next 48 hours and 10% for the next 5 days. Here's disturbance 2 here. You know, this used to be, you know, something here, but the odds are decreasing with this here. This 48 hours is 20%, and the 5 days is 5%. This is another another area of this organized showers and thunderstorms that is located several hundred miles off the coast of southwestern Mexico. This system is expected to move northwestward at about 15 miles per hour, parallel to the coast of Mexico, and some development is possible before it reaches cooler waters in a couple of days. You know, at one point I said that all 4 of these, or maybe 3 of these, were going to form, but only one formed. So, you know, I kind of ate my words on that one. But I do not think these 2 will form at all. They're gonna be going through unfavorable conditions here within the next like 48 hours. So there's gonna be no threat to Mexico here at all as these go into cooler waters and just dissipate, period. Alright, this is we're gonna be looking at Boris here first, and as you see, this is the storm right here. It has 1,008 millibars, and it's struggling at this point in time. So it looks like it strengthens a little bit, but not tropical storm strengthened. And yeah, it seems about at 60 hours it's gonna dissipate completely and be no threat or concern to Hawaii at all. Let's go ahead and change this to the Eastern Pacific side, so we take a look at those 2 systems that are there right now, and the GFS is not really picking up on them. That's how low of confidence the GFS has with these systems. I mean, at this current time anyways, that's how low confidence that the GFS has. But as you can see at the 18-hour mark that the GFS does pick up on one of these systems here, 1,006 millibars. This is probably a tropical depression. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But that doesn't last very long. That's just because of the GFS not being consistent on, you know, if it's gonna come or stay or, you know, do its thing. That's why my confidence is really low right now on this becoming even a tropical depression, because the GFS looks pretty inconsistent at bringing up this storm and keeping it as such. And as you can see, they don't even pick up on disturbance number 1. So that might be pretty, you know, foregone conclusion there. But this is 5 days out. As you can see, the GFS is trying to pick up on something else here at on July 2nd, 2020. That looks pretty interesting. We're gonna go out to 7 days because that's what I said I was gonna do, and this, yeah, this is something here. That is definitely a hurricane in the Eastern Pacific. Normally, like I said, normally once you get 5 days out, it usually starts to become a little bit more inconsistent with what it actually wants to do. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt for now. If it, I'll keep tracking this for you guys. But if it's still there in the next, like, say 2 to 3 days, then we might be actually considering having a hurricane in the Pacific. So, you know, something to pay attention to. We don't know where it's actually going. So, yes. And before I leave you guys, I want to take a look at 2 more things. I'm going to take a look at both basins in the European here. And this is what is left of Tropical Depression Boris here for the European. This is a fighter, man. Boris is definitely a fighter. It keeps it as a little something something going in 6 days from now. This is what is left of Boris right in here, where my mouse cursor is. And completely dissipates by hour 168. So that is what that is for that basin of the European. Now we're gonna go take a look at the Eastern Pacific here, and this is what is of disturbance 1, I believe, right in here, and this is going to be disturbance 2, because you can tell where the disturbance are because of the rotations in the wind symbols here. So let's go forward. Yeah, it doesn't really want to do anything with either system going forward. So that is what the European is showing for the next 7 days, is a whole bunch of nothing, really. Yes. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys in the next update tomorrow. If anything else were to happen between now and the time I go to sleep, I might cut back in. But as for today, this is all. And thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day.